All right, good morning, good evening, good night. NFT live on the Web3 network. We know it's a little bit late. We get that. It's live content. You got to roll with the punches here. DP, Prodigy, Squashman, Easy and Crypto. Last NFT live of the week. A lot of news to cover. Excited to be here sitting with Biggie Poppins, who just got a beautiful Mythics reveal, I should say. We'll pull that up in just a moment. But Biggie, what's up, brother?
Dude, I'm feeling really lucky. I kind of want to I want to stop the rollout, dude. If not, I'm just gonna have the remaining, 185 days of reveals with nothing. But yeah, proud pop of that tomato right there. With a Tubins, I might add. Like Tubins are the shit. It's like I don't know. I just feel like they're gonna have a major role to play in the Mythics lore. They've become like this cult favorite, and so everybody's always looking for them. And so far, I have 2 Mythics with Tubins. One is a Toxic Tubin, and this one seems to be like a Zen Tubins. So I'm psyched about that, man.
All right, avert your eyes a little bit if you have any envy, because we're going to show off the whole Biggie Poppins proof collection. But yeah, Biggie, these 4 Mythics, man, look amazing.
Yeah, thanks, that mask, dude. Bro, that mask that you revealed yesterday is wild.
Yeah, dude, the glitch mask is insane. And so he's got the little Tubins plate. It's like a toxic Tubins or something. Like maybe he got intoxicated. But yeah, man, I really love this the glitch feature. So far, man, you know, I've got my favorite colors. I got some of my favorite traits. You know, I just need a dead bird now. And I think like I can die happy in a Fidenza club. That would be great too.
Not asking. All right, well, we'll get into a little bit of this. GIF, what's up, brother? How's your morning going?
You know, I had a really fun GM Web3 talking about the NFT Illuminati and Web3 cabals and how it's all being run by aliens. This entire space is actually just an alien psyop, and they don't want you to know about it. So yeah, no, we got into it. We got into some headlines, but yeah, also just had fun because it's the last GM Web3 hashtag Thirst Trap Thursday. So it was a great time. We covered some good stuff, but also just had a really awesome time over there with the fam, talking that shit. And glad to be with y'all, all y'all out there. If you're joining us already, salute to you especially. But if you're joining us later too, apparently some people watch the show after it's live. I didn't even know. I thought it was only the people in the chat that are like here watching. Wow. But no, there's people that join us afterwards. And so shout out to y'all too, even if you're not here with us at this very moment.
Wow, the post live show watchers are just up in arms right now. They've been watching for years, for months. Gifted, no support. Wow,
I'm showing respect. I'm saying we see you. I see you. I know you're there now. That's pretty cool.
Those of you on Twitch, those of you on Twitter as well, we see y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and, you know, spending your day with us every day, or when you can catch us. We appreciate that very much. OBOT. This is not financial advice.
Ever. Never, ever. None of the shit any of us say at any time is ever financial advice on any platform. But also
finally got to the point where you wrote a tweet thread about it.
Dude, I like we say it constantly, but also it is important for like everybody's safety, for your safety and for ours, for us to say this repeatedly. But also I just feel like there's still been jackasses and people that are coming at us like, you're not disclosing enough that like you might have an NFT. It's like anytime that there's like full transparency, anytime that there's any sort of real business affiliation with us, or if there's actual bags tied to things, like we're going to clearly disclose that we have an interest in this thing. We're not out here
live mint it.
Yeah, like we're not out here telling you to go buy coins or NFTs for thousands and thousands of dollars that we're secretly tied into. Like, just know, like, there's actual scruples behind what we do, and it's very important to us, and we will continue to operate this way. And yeah, what's the point? The point is we're not financial advisors, and if there's ever any sort of business affiliation or sponsorship or actual tie to a project, you will know about it if we're talking about it. Anytime that I'm like have actual bags attached to a project, like thousands of dollars in something, I'm also very clear, like, hey, I have some of these, or like, you know, I'm minting some. So it's important though, right? Like people should know this shit because there is a lot of scammy behavior. There's a lot of influencers in the space who don't disclose affiliations that are out there pumping bags. And so just know we're not trying to do that. I don't want to be part of that.
These are most influencers when getting brought up about bags that they're pumping. So you're pumping a bag that you have and not disclosing it. This is actually
good look. That's what they look like.
The full zoom on this. Like, dude, this is 20 seconds. And if you don't know what that is, Mitch McConnell standing.
If he's not an alien, I don't know what is.
Dude, he literally short circuited live, and it's actually sad. Like I don't want to shit on him too hard. Like other than the fact that the guy shouldn't have as much power as he has. That's it. Like we can't keep propping up people that are not mentally well to have the most, like they're running our country.
20 full seconds.
They're supposed to be dealing with future issues and technological issues that are defining the future in our age. And they're just not able. They're not up to it, man. They're not up to it, and that's bottom line. So yeah, I don't want to shit on this too hard because it's actually kind of sad to see.
It is,
but yeah, I will also bring it back to saying, you know, Nifty Q, you asked me how I'm doing. I'm doing well, but I still have 2 Moonbird oddities sitting on the proof website, whatever staked they're elected or nominated, and I have no mythics.
What does this mean?
Biggie's over here.
You're not going to get it revealed? Is that what that means?
Odd God is favoring me, man, for all the good word I've been spreading.
I've got 0 mythics. So that's how I'm doing when I look at his bags right now.
What's the saying? The last shall be first. We'll see. I have a good feeling that one of your mythics is just gonna be epic. Gift. It's gonna be like your new PFP, I think.
It might be. If I get a dope mythic, it might be. Because yeah, why not? But when mythics, that's all I have to say.
Knock on that odd God.
Hey, last piece here.
You need to join the Discord. I think that's the reason.
That
is angry at you
okay.
Because you're not joining
discrimination.
The Discord.
It's Discord discrimination. They're discoordinating against
to be
us.
Fair, who's the most active? The Discord members. You got to reward your most active.
I'm offended.
Doesn't like it.
Join us. Join this GIF.
It's prejudice.
All right, we'll move on from the prejudice that we have also against old folks, apparently. Although, again, it's not about age. Somebody that's 81 could have the mind of a 40-year-old, and I would not be saying the things I'm saying, but clearly that man has a 81-year-old's brain or a 90-year-old's brain.
He needs a blanket and a rocking chair, and he needs to spend some time with his grandchildren. He should not be walking the halls of government with so much power. It's obscene. Like, please stop electing these dinosaurs. Let them go home, play with their grandchildren. Honestly, you should be able to pass like a certain level of like a speed test, you know, with your brain and like with your knowledge of current events, stuff like that, you know, to be able to access that amount of clearance for the most powerful government in the world. Seriously,
you can't play pickleball, you can't run the country.
Yeah. And this is the whole issue with Dianne Feinstein too, which is just offensive. And that's that, like, she's not even there for the job. Like she's not even showing up for it because she's not well enough. And again, nobody's like, if you're not well, like get better, go take care, but don't be, you know, taking up space in our government when we need to get shit done if you can't fulfill the job. Any other job, if you aren't showing up for half of it, you get fired. You know what I mean? And to your point, Biggie, it's like I'm 36, right? Like I'm no youngster. I have good days and bad days, but even just on like a normal day, you know, there's only so much bandwidth that I have that I'm actually super focused, tapped in, really productive. And as you get older, like that goes down. At their ages, like they've got maybe on their good days, a couple hours where they're like super focused and tapped in. But a lot of the time, they're probably not really even that focused. right? That's what you have to be understanding is like these people are just sitting in these seats, and
And
how
you
much are they
understand, like,
actually?
the amount of material that they're supposed to stay on top of, like the amount
It's
of pages
insane.
that they're supposed to be reading every day, you know, and to be able to connect the dots and talking to advisors and just, dude, I mean, I'm telling you, like, no amount of Red Bull is going to keep you up for that. And these guys are they're 80s, bro. Like, come on.
Some
now.
of
Like,
them are in
how
their
do you-
90s.
You're not going
Some
to
of
make
them are-
good decisions this way, you know? Like, I'm sorry. I don't care where they come from.
I don't know what I have started. I apologize.
You started
for
it.
those
You
folks
did.
out there.
Yeah.
We are going to get to some NFT and Web3 news. This is the episode, and I'm going to link it there in chat for you guys.
Can we
I do want to get
pull up
to,
that thumb? Can we pull up the? Can we pull up this thumb?
Before I get to the thumb, I still haven't got any questions or any answers. Hold on, I'm on the wrong piece here because I'm all flustered from little Thirst Trap Thursdays. I have. What the hell? Did you delete it?
I didn't delete
No
shit.
way.
What are
Where'd
you
my
talking
Thirst
about?
Trap go? No,
Elon deleted it.
Oh, it's in there.
Oh,
It's
it's
probably
probably
just
the other
hidden. It's probably nested. It's nested in like one of the comments, probably. So yeah, sometimes it hides it. There you
Hey,
go.
GIF, I'm wearing this still, but I had to throw on a hoodie. Gifted me a Hex Spawn t-shirt, medium size. And I still haven't got any answers because I really like it. I really like the shirt, but I can't wear it because it feels like a wetsuit. I can't. So on to better news, though, what we originally had pulled up. Apparently, you don't like the thumbnail today, GIF.
No, I love it. I want everybody to see it. I want everybody to check out this amazing face and let us know in the comments. Is this the greatest YouTube thumbnail of all time? Let us know if Nifty Q is absolutely just
Putting on all my hard work.
just nailing the faces here, because I think this is next level for us. I think you unlocked the next level with this thumbnail is what I'm saying, Q.
Okay, we're going to get to these topics that are on the thumbnail. Avert your eyes from the actual face. Ape Fest delays, Reddit being the most successful NFT project of all time, Artifact launching a new PFP, all things we're going to get into. If you have any other topics, we are definitely able to pull those up as well. Genkai is another one that we need to cover, but let's go in order of frustration here. That's going to be Bored Ape Yacht Club. Hong Kong is set to happen November 2nd and through the 6th, I believe. I need to make sure I got the dates right. But there was a claim that was going through token proof last night, 8 p.m. standard, Eastern Standard. That all failed. It kind of blew up. There's probably 100 people that got tickets out of the thousands that were available. They ended up postponing this Hong Kong Ape Fest claim, and I'll read it off here. Due to the numbers of apes who cannot enter the Ape Fest ticketing queue, we will be pausing ticket claims till next week. Token Proof is actively working on a fix, and we will provide 48-hour heads up before tickets go live.
So wait, like the people that were able to claim tickets, like those are going to be
Honored.
accepted?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of
You
quotes.
just wipe the slate clean and start over again. Like, that's bullshit. I don't understand. Like, is it so complicated to just come up with a new NFT or whatever?
People would flip
Ticket
shit
and just
if you took their tickets away from them.
Yeah. And then you have
let
the
'em. Take a page out of Poopy and tell them to fuck off. You know, like, no. You really got to crack the whip on these little degen shits, you know? Like, you can't let them get away with that shit. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's certain ticket for, like, the amount of, like, assets that you hold. You're not supposed to be able to claim 100. Like, you can't whine and bitch and moan about that shit. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you just start over again. You know, be honorable, especially with your community. Like, what the hell? Yeah, I'm angry at this shit. Like, honestly, like, honestly, dude, like, I've been watching this thing and I'm like, dude, I wonder if I could, like, hack, like, a fucking, like, super cheap ticket to Hong Kong. Like, would I do, like, one of those crazy, like, Bourdain, like, trips, you know, like, weekend, just, like, on Red Bull and just go to Hong Kong, check it out, and come back. And then,
Pretty
like,
sure he
rest
was
for a
on.
week.
Pretty sure he was on other things than Red Bull.
Yeah,
No, I guess
yeah.
he quit. He quit all that. He was straight when he was doing Parts Unknown. What was his show?
Yeah, Parts Unknown. And then
Shout out
Relations.
Anthony Bourdain, legend. Rest in power to that man.
love that man.
But seriously, I
a
think
portrait of him on
I'm
side.
really stoked about it. Like, I hope they cover that event really well. I think it's gonna be epic. It's like in one of the I'm more excited about that than NFT NYC. Like I think it's like one of the power centers of the world. Hong Kong, it's a beautiful city, like lit up at night. It's just gorgeous. Like I think you need to make that the best event that it can be. And yeah, man, I'm a little bummed that it's so far away that I can't really like just pull it off because I'm a father now. If not, I would totally be figuring out a way to get over there. But to do this and not like really just be like, okay, we're gonna start over again and let the whiners whine. Like they'll tire out, you know. Like what are they gonna do? Fud their own bags? Probably that's how teachings are here. But let them.
This is not a huge topic. Like this is going to be forgotten probably in the next 2 weeks. But it was the reason why it was a fuck up to me was how simple this should have been, right? Like this should have been something that didn't have any type of like roadblocks or anything. I don't know what happened with token proof. I don't know what happened with the tech there, but this shouldn't have been something that they stumbled over. It wasn't like a other side release. It wasn't like this huge thing. It was ticketing.
It seemed, yeah.
I think I saw Fonz put something up there that it was like these really long API calls that caused all the like some kind of lag or confusion there that they're fixing. Yeah, shout out Fonz, good guy. Ape member and proof member, by the way.
I actually had his tweet up because somebody was claiming that you could. So essentially, apes that didn't want to go to Hong Kong or couldn't were saying, hey, maybe I could buy my ticket and sell it to somebody else in Hong Kong. Apparently, Font says creative, not possible. We got that question in the GM Web3 morning show this morning as well. But Fonz is coming out and saying, nope, can't do it. And also is coming out and giving us the simple explanation. There's a number of long ass API calls that are made through the authentication. This made things inefficient and caused some users to end up with timeouts.
How many tickets got claimed? I'm curious.
It felt like most of the community, and I was in Discord, I was on Twitter, it felt like most of the community didn't get it. It wasn't like a minority of people that didn't get these tickets.
Honestly, if they honor these, they cannot. They can't honor that shit. They cannot honor those tickets. If they do, Lord help you. Machi's gonna have a lot of apes to sweep up. I have a feeling.
It just feels like this is one of those situations where there's just sometimes no winning. Like people are going to be angry no matter what. And I'm kind of with you, Biggie. They just need to do what they think is best for long-term.
Like you said, they're going to be angry no matter what. Who do you want to make angry? You know, the dudes that game the system, or the people that are actually trying to go there and like not flip 50 freaking tickets that they weren't supposed to be able to get their hands on. I mean, I think the answer is pretty obvious there. Like I honestly, that's the moment you turn into poopy and you're just say like, Florian, get the fuck out. You know, like you don't like it. That's that's
man.
It just sucks that we're talking about it, right? Like it sucks that we have to be in this situation where it happened. Again, this is like very small blip on the radar of what's actually going to happen with Bored Apes over time, but you would have liked to see this go off without a hitch. So, Gift, do you have any last takes?
No, I think you're right. It seems like they're tripping over the small stuff right now because it's like ticketing at this point shouldn't be the thing that breaks. When there's bigger, you're watching games and shit. You're watching fully like Web3 games with NFTs and integrated and all this stuff, and the ticketing is where we're breaking down. But I think what's good of pulling up that post to show the explanation is that this technology it's actually very difficult to do the things that we're trying to do and implement this technology in revolutionary, interesting, powerful new ways is actually very difficult. This is why it's like being a dev gets paid mad money, because figuring out how to do this shit well and do it seamlessly and integrate it in ways that you don't even see where it doesn't break, it's actually not that easy at the end of the day.
It's fair. All right, next story here. We've been covering Genkai for a little while now. We've had CyberKong's folks come in and really kind of talk about the next evolution of that IP. Henry the Grape was on Wild Wild Web podcast breaking this all down. We've had community members as well that are holders, and it looks like the Genkai mint, which went live at 1, sold out on Ronin. Okay, so there's 3,000 of these that sold out. So that's great. Again, 0.25 mint price for these.
So it was still same price over there, huh?
Same price point. Same price point.
Okay.
I believe you had to actually even buy the Ron token or already have the Ron token in 0.25 allocation to be able to buy. So that's sold out, which is great. Like, again, we were looking forward to seeing this mint out and see what it did on secondary. I am following the total mint here because the remainder is 9,000 that are going to be available for public sale. Now, there's details around like when is it available and whatnot that I want to pull up, because what I'm seeing now is like 1,200 of these have been minted out of 9,000.
Is this currently just doing like an allow list, or like how are they rolling this out? This isn't public.
Again,
this isn't public yet, right? Or it is?
I think it is. That's what I need to make sure is happening. So this is in UTC. What is 8 p.m. UTC time? I think this might be public.
1 p.m. and no. So that means
okay, 4 p.m. Okay, so this is this is the limit list. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not public yet.
Okay, so there's 9,000 on the limit list, and then Ronin is already sold out. So these have happened now, and then the wait list and public sale are coming here at 8 p.m. UTC, which is 4 p.m. I believe Eastern Standard. So, what do we think? Any takes here? We're kind of just following Genkai's mints.
I don't know how big their lists are or how concerned they are right now. I just wish them the best, and I hope that it mints out and it doesn't just dump, and that I don't know. I hope that everybody that gets into it feels good about it and likes the art. I don't know when the reveal is. That's one question I have, is like, how long is the sort of reveal period going to take? Are they gamifying it? Some people have been gamifying their reveals in weird ways to try and string out the interest and the attention that they get around a mint. But I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out over the weekend, and then come back in, Monday, Tuesday, and have some data points to look at.
Yeah, it looks like they're going with Magic Eden for the sale again. So yeah, we're going to be watching this again. The sale continues throughout, even past this show's live lifetime at least. So we'll be.
Let us know in the chat. Are you picking one up? Do you have 0.25 ETH right now of liquidity to buy a Genkai and try and get in on the public mint? Let us know.
That's actually a great question, because we were talking about the limit list, right, Gif? Like we were saying, hey, we're not getting.
I signed up on the list. I don't think I got added, or I didn't see anything.
All right, quick question from Squash. Gif, are you going to the BAYC meetup tonight in LA?
Didn't plan on it.
Are you going now that Squashman said something?
Probably not.
Okay, we got a quick answer there. Biggie, I got a question for you here, man. Genkai art comparatively, okay? So we know what you think about the Mythics, and I think me and Gifted are both in the same camp of saying Mythics are probably top tier of what we've seen minted out recently. But we got an announcement from Artifact's Twitter. And apparently we might be getting some Artifact PFP action here. What do you think between Artifact here and Genkai?
I mean, just right off the bat, all we have to go on is this Artifact one, right? I would go with Genkai for sure. I mean, I've seen more of Genkai already revealed. It's got that kind of G.I. Joe, like old manga style type comic, so I dig that a little more. This other one, I'm still not sure what the hell that is. It looks like your classic kind of like alien skull, elongated skull in the back, kind of edgy, but I'm still not convinced. I'd need to see a little bit more, but wow.
Sure.
So they're coming up with another PFP. Okay.
Questions abound here. Lucky Trader giving the googly eyes. Need a Clone X app. Basically, people were all asking, is this going to be a PFP collection that you're launching? So, but nothing has come out as of yet.
Yeah, not sure how I feel about it, but hey, I mean, projects got to do what they got to do,
I think the illustration style looks high quality, and what I will say, one thing at least, right, is that one of the things that we talk about is with NFTs, like you don't want to just feel like a human. This is one of the reasons why I think captains are pretty lame. It's like it's not super interesting. Like at least they're doing something crazy and interesting, right? It's like very unique alien, you know,
That's a good point. Yeah.
pretty high quality looking illustrations. So I'm definitely excited to see what it is. But yeah, it's a little bit early to tell. Obviously, it looks like it might be those characters, but is it a PFP collection? Probably so. Anyway, Squashman, let me know if you're going. Maybe if you're going, Squashman, maybe I'll find a way to get out tonight and come hang out with you because that could be cool. But yeah, let me know.
I'm going to play this vid real quick. I think again, that picture might be related to Artifact Animus. So let's watch this real quick.
They've been teasing this for a while, haven't they? Isn't that like the eggs?
Here's my thing here. Isn't CloneX kind of wrecked right now? Hasn't CloneX shown to be...
Everything's wrecked.
Everything's wrecked. Fair.
It's been quiet.
But there better be some demand for this collection. Like, you could do the same thing, and you could say the same thing for what CyberConks is trying to do with Genkai. But I think they have a tighter-knit community, and it seems to be a little bit better sentiment than Artifact right now. You know, it's just an assumption. Maybe I'm off base here, but there better be some demand for this Animus collection because the rest of the IP is just not doing that well. I mean, I'm gonna pull this up
now. Have they even like teased out some dates or like how soon this release will be?
Didn't see anything there. Cam saying that looks weak given the amount of money they have. Maybe that's you know, I mean, obviously Cam is biased because he's a talented animator himself working on a high quality and a 3D project.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, they're going to have a lot of marketing behind this. You know, you were talking about demand, Nifty Q. If anybody can, you know, drum up demand, do a big drum roll with a bunch of cool trailers, a bunch of cool art, and like get it out there, it's going to be Nike and Artifact. Remember, Artifact is owned by Nike now. So like to Cam's point, they have a ton of money. If you don't think that they're going to be able to drum up demand for a new collection, I think they will. Whether or not it becomes like one of these, you know, pump and dumps where, you know, it's like they're able to just get a bunch of short-term flippers versus people who are actually really fucking with it. That's the challenge to me, right? Because
that's also dictated in how you present this project, right? And like how you start introducing and drum up support for it, right? Like I think Genkai did a pretty good job, and I mean, I'm biased, but I think Moonbirds did an excellent job. I think honestly, like if I was them, I would take a page out of Proof and like really bring people into the whole orchestration and creation of the project and like behind the scenes, like really get people involved in it, right? Like to see like some of the trades. If you're just gonna put out these short little teaser trailers and all that, then I'm already feeling like, okay, this is probably gonna be a flip. You know, like you're not really engaging the community so much as you're just bombarding them with content and teasing them. You really want engagement, right? Like this is the era of attention and engagement, and it's not enough, in my opinion, to just plaster the feed with like cool graphics and like little teaser trailers. Like you really got to bring them in and incite them to comment, to see what their favorite traits are, maybe even suggest some, you know, show the behind the scenes work of like the very talented people I'm sure you've like hired to do this. If not, I don't know, like how, you know, like how much it's gonna grab you, right? Like you also see it from Luca Nets, right, with the Pudgy Penguins. Like all his energies right now are going to that, right, to creating this bond with the holders and with the toys, to really establish themselves as like the cute plush NFTs that they want to be, right? And like there's a reason for that, because you'll have better retention and you'll have better community and you'll have better fans. If all you're doing is pushing this type of shit out there, I think it's a little lame. It's like, okay, fine, for a flip, right? But I don't know how many people are really going to be into it. Let's see. Like, I guess it's early stages. Maybe this is part of a much larger plan, but I do hope that they involve or engage the community a little more than just that.
Yeah, Gif, if you had any last takes here, lay them out, man. But Karma's saying artifact sentiment is so low. That Monolith 2 experience was haunting.
Yeah, and that's a great point, right? They, again, execution, not understanding, to Biggie's point about how to properly engage the community or bring the community along. That's gonna be, to me, the thing to watch here, right? I think Biggie, like, we're both kind of like hitting it from different angles, but you're right. It's like, yes, they're going to market it very well and they're going to be able, I think, to drum up attention, but how do they do that? How does the community respond to that? Are they actually doing it in a meaningful way to get the community involved and feel like they're part of something that they want to be part of? Or is this going to just turn into something that's kind of like maybe a flipping opportunity for certain people? That's kind of what I'm going to be watching. I'm over here just reading this fucking dismemberment story, so it's kind of fucking with my head a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Right?
Let's not go into that. Let's not say we did. Okay, so over the last 30 days, I've got CloneX and Artifact Animus eggs up here. So you can see over that time period, 30%, I believe, for the Animus eggs, up only 4 on the CloneX. We know it's a bear market, folks. That's the disclaimer that you want to add on that. Over the last 7 days, and then over the last, let's go and look at the actual floor prices. So Animus eggs right now sitting at 0.41, and then 1.71 for the CloneXs. I would not buy a CloneX. Like, there's other things that I would definitely purchase before that. The Animus eggs, maybe taking a flyer on potentially getting a Grail reveal. I could potentially see trying to get involved, but that's a risk in and of itself. You don't get anything. Now you're stuck in a collection that, again, I don't think has much like great sentiment around it, but we'll see. You guys pulling the trigger on an Animus egg here? 0.4?
What, 0.4?
It's on secondary already.
Yeah, because they rolled out these eggs a long time ago, so that makes sense. So most likely, putting it all together, that's a teaser for what's going to come out of those eggs. And yeah, if the floor is already 0.4, would I be buying right now? Probably not, just based on what we know so far. Probably not, but we don't know much so far. So,
okay, we'll move on to the next piece, and I do want to get to some of this chat. This is why CyberKongs just defies all like expectations or anything like that. It's like people in their community have liquidity. There's a strong. I don't want to use. So I want to use the term and make sure I'm getting the right language here. There's a really strong high net worth community behind CyberKongs. And this guy just minted 200 Genkai here. That's one individual.
That's wild. So
I
mean, based on
Coco
that,
Bear as well.
Yeah, based on that, you would
50.
think that these are definitely going to sell out and have a pump, right? Just because, again, it's like they do have quite a strong community behind them. Yeah, Fisker Karma coming in here with all the alpha on the CloneX Animus situation. He says, my worry with the eggs, there's supposed to be a supply announcement. Rumors of another 20,000 eggs inbound. What Artifact and she said. And this is fucked up if so. Honestly, if that's true, yeah. If they've been holding off, if they've been holding off on announcing that they're diluting supply of this collection to get more people FOMOing in and buying it when they're about to dilute it by 20,000 more, and a bunch of people that are buying it don't know that, to me, that's like fraud. It's like almost like you're not telling people what they're buying, and it's almost like an open edition, which is one of the things that I hated about Nifty Gateway, and what turned me off to them is that you don't know what if you're a buyer and you're buying something at a premium, somebody's telling you like, yo, this is $500, $1,000, $5,000, but there's no like clear limit on how many there are. You don't know what you're buying. You could be buying a one of 100. You could be buying a one of 10,000. You don't know what it is. You don't know. And so that's what I'm seeing here is like if you're buying this right now and there might be more supply coming, you have no idea what you're buying. It's a very different thing when there's 5,000 of something versus 20,000 or 50,000.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Prodigy saying, "Bro, FUD all except Yuga." We appreciate the Yuga sim. We need that energy, that gas that fills us up here with Yuga. I don't think we're gonna get into any heavy metals or anything that Yuga's doing other than the Ape Fest piece that we already touched on. But if you are sitting at home and you do like the content, you like the individuals up here, we would appreciate a like on the episode, man. It helps us get it out on YouTube. Always appreciate your guys' support, man. Again, this is the last show of the week. So without further ado, let's hop into some of these last pieces of news. We'll be here for about another 30 minutes. We're not leaving anytime soon. But Sarah Script saying the U.S. Museum debut of Human One by Beeple will be at Crystal Bridges in Arkansas. So it looks like Beeple is making his national kind of tour here with Human One. I was able to see this, actually. I don't know if Easy, if you're still here, you had to pop out. But I was able to see Human One in Sothebys, I believe, or in Christie's in New York City. And I was able to see that with Easy. So that was a really cool experience. But it looks like Crystal Bridges in Arkansas is getting a little bit of that artwork as well, so that people can see it there. Thoughts?
Dope, man. I want to check it out. I'm jealous.
You going to Crystal Bridges?
Fuck no. I'm all for him like touring his artwork over there in Arkansas, but I don't know, like, what is there in Arkansas? Anybody know in our audience?
Sarah Script is leading the charge on building out the art community there in Arkansas. So yeah, big things coming to Arkansas.
Okay. And,
sorry,
Sarah Script. Such a beautiful human being.
Yeah, if Beeple wants to help, onboard the fine people of Arkansas into the Web3 space and the digital art, I am all for it.
President Clinton's presidential library as well, or former president, I should say, is there in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there was one, but there is. All right. I'm looking across the market right now. We have a couple other pieces that I want to get y'all's takes on. All right, breaking news here, Gifted. We are going to touch on Reddit collectibles here. There was a nice tweet that we can break down, but a big Reddit NFT Gen 4 sale, 3.75 ETH here on Conlantis.
Man,
do we feel like it's picking back up?
Somebody please do a supercut, roll back the tape, find all the clips of us talking about this over the last freaking year. Because I've been, honestly, it's one of the things that's bugged me about people is their short-minded, shitty Twitter takes, trying to engagement farm without actually like having any sort of context or understanding of what's happening over there. People have been saying, "Oh, Reddit's nothing." People, I won't name names, specific people who are just absolute fucking trolls sometimes. Jesus, I'm not going to go that. All right. Sorry. Certain people come on and they say Polygon's doing nothing. There's no volume. Nobody cares about Polygon. Yo, what Reddit is building is something at scale that has never existed before, and people are trying to compare what Reddit's doing, onboarding almost 15 million unique holders in the first year, to like their favorite 5K PFP project. People anyway, I'm so glad to start to see data coming out that
or
proves
a DeFi
out
app with like 5 users.
Yeah, and I'm just so happy that the data is starting to show what we've been saying all along. This is a whole different beast. You cannot apply the same success metrics or really basic fucking 70 IQ, degen logic to what fucking Reddit's doing. This is the future of Web 2.5 and actually getting mass adoption and creating something that scales into something huge over the next couple of years through $5 and $10 purchases, right? Understand what they've done is they've built a $50 million project already off of $5 and $10 and free NFTs. So
are there fees on any like trades? I know. So a lot of complex things to talk about, like secondary sales and whether these Reddit avatars are actually being traded so that maybe Reddit could see some fees and some revenue generation. But you see percentage of holders with just one avatar, market cap's at 50 mil, 4.3 million holders. Again, I don't think that's 4.3 million people, but still there is a very, very strong.
Wait, 14.
Yeah, 14.3
I think you were
million
saying
people.
4.3, 14.3, almost 15 million holders.
Run the tape back. I said 14.
Okay.
I believe this makes Reddit avatars the single biggest NFT collection by a large margin, and their distribution is incredible, with over 12 million holders having just a single NFT. At a $49 million market cap, this makes them the 12th biggest NFT collection between Milady's and Kennel Club, and ahead of other major sets like Meebits and Doodles.
And the reason why this isn't hyperbole, if people are out there shit like being like, no, it's not the biggest collection, like blah blah. If you're still out there trying to FUD this, then you're still not getting it. Understand, they have one of the most popular websites in the world. They have utility. They're coming out of Web 2 already with a product and a website that people visit every single fucking day. People go to this website every day. It's sticky, so this grows. This actually has legs. This isn't like, oh, we just are promising a roadmap that maybe we'll have a product. No. People are going to be going back to this again, because it's all integrated completely seamlessly into the Reddit ecosystem. So anyway,
yeah, we're already getting some clusters here that are coming back, which I appreciate the debate. Like this is the issue with Reddit, right? And I was trying to say this on GM Web3, and Biggie, you do a great job of kind of encapsulating your thoughts and kind of the thoughts of the folks up here too, when we have some type of kind of agreement on the topic. But Reddit doesn't fall into the success category that typically in the NFT and Web3 space we attribute it to, right? Secondary sales, price on assets increasing. How do you look at Reddit's success and say whether it is successful, right? Like with the amount of holders there is, like alone, in my opinion, to echo Gift's statement, you're seeing a bunch of success with onboarding people potentially. You know, not all 14 million Reddit wallets that hold this are going to move to the blockchain, but you'll get a solid percentage, and that is literally onboarding. But
even 1 million,
yeah,
you know what I mean, is a big deal because nobody's doing that right now. First of all, real quick, Quantum Variant, shout out to you. DP agreed with me. He thinks he did say 4, my guy. So
I'm hurt.
Yeah. And then Marty's saying nobody goes to Reddit. I'm starting to go back more and more again because of this. Actually, I was kind of out. I wasn't really going there much. And now I'm actually getting a lot more interested because there's very few things that are clear to me about where Web3 is going right now, except that Reddit is going to be at the forefront of all of this. It's one of the most important platforms for Web 2.5 and the future of internet, Web 3 now. Period. And they're about to have an IPO later this year. So we should all probably be checking it out and spending a little bit more time. And also, full transparency, really quick, Biggie. Sorry about that, but really quick, because this is important. I know I've said this before. When I was buying them, we talked about it. I put probably like $500 to $1,000 picking up Reddit NFTs. So I do have some. I don't have like a big bag or anything. I'm not affiliated, but I do have a few of them, if that matters to anybody.
Skin in the game, dude. That's essential.
Full transparency. Yeah.
And I think, like you said, Give, the most important thing, like when you're looking at these things, is just to always remind yourself that like you need to establish a baseline. Like, where are we right now? And I mean, if you look around of us right now here on the channel, there are NFT aficionados. You're tuning in to hear us talk and postulate on these things, and we're here trying to make sense of it. Like, nobody knows where this is going to go and what it's going to be like in the next year, in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, right? Like, many of these projects that we are passionate about might die, right? But I think that when Starbucks and when Reddit come here and really show like a very distinct approach to what other huge companies have attempted to do, which are very blatant cash grabs, like, these guys are actually putting resources behind these attempts, like people, manpower, hours of, thought process and application and different approaches. Like, you can't fake that. If you're really here in this space because you want to see it succeed and you want to onboard people, these are the companies that are really trying to do something about that, and so you should be cheering them on. You should be like Gift, like have a little bit of skin in the game, check it out a little bit. It might not be your thing, it might not be for you, and it might never, nobody's saying that, unfortunately we here in crypto space right now, especially in NFT land, we have these like bastions that we compare everything else to, right? If it isn't a freaking like win, like a crypto punk or a Yuga, then it's worthless somehow, and like it doesn't count, and it's wrecked, and it's a rug, and it's like no, man, like it's very early on. Like these projects are very early, even the cool cats, like that's why it's like you really want to, like they're not rugging. They're actually going out there and trying to, put their brand out there for people to engage with, and they're trying to come up with different gamifications and onboarding mechanisms to try to bring people and attention to their projects. And that to me is like something to be applauded, and something that if you're in this space, you should be studying it. Even if it's a failure, it's a win for everybody else afterwards, right? And so I don't know, like I'm all for what Reddit is doing.
If you're trying to start a career in Web3, this is one of the most important case studies that you can understand to go talk to onboarding Web2 communities and brands with, right? Period. If you don't understand what Reddit's doing well, you're not a good consultant. You don't actually understand like who's doing this the best or who's doing it well. Like this is one of the most important case studies in all of Web3. So if you want a career in Web3 at all, you should be paying very close attention to this and doing exactly what Biggie's saying, and that's getting your hands dirty, understanding how they are doing this as well as they are. And to Marty's point, Marty's saying people use Twitter and Google and TikTok, not Reddit. My guy, Reddit is the 12th biggest website in the US and has 1.6 billion visits a month. It has 1.6 billion visits a month, Marty. I feel like you're trolling a little bit, and that's fine, but it's just not true. Like what you're saying is factually inaccurate if you're trying to sit here and say nobody uses Reddit. It's just not true.
Yeah, Marty.
All right, so I'm looking at the numbers.
With your
I was trying to actually
rose-colored
find
glasses,
the Reddit here. We actually have the numbers at $100,000. So this was obviously sold in USD. It looks like we have the numbers at 100K. That was raised here. I don't know what the cut looks like with Cool Cats and what the cut looks like with Reddit. I don't know the business model behind it, but about $100,000 there for this first drop with Cool Cats at least. So obviously we're having bigger, and maybe the runoff is that the larger, more established collections will get sales like this. Because again, I mean, you have the Web3 space that needs to somehow feel like, hey, if I collect this thing, I can flip it for 4 to 10x. And maybe it's just the runoff here from the major one, like the long tail, and then you don't have as many of the high value sales, but you'll have them.
And I think it's important also to remind people like how obscure and indifferent people used to be back in the day when CryptoPunks launched. Like Snowfro was out there giving them to friends as birthday presents. Other people were trading him for nothing, right? Like for a good long while, all they were just JPEGs, like an experiment of NFT. Like he didn't come off right off the bat like freaking the apes, right? Like Yuga. Like sometimes these things require some time to cook. Sometimes these trends are revisited, right? And all of a sudden they become a thing. So like I think it's really important to just kind of like situate yourself and like where you are in this point in time of NFTs, and like to pick your shots, right? Like pick your goals. If you're into art, go for the art. But I think like having, again, like a little bit of a notion of what these big platforms are doing to engage the Web3 and bridge the Web2 community over is so important. Like I really do think you should be cheering it on, because that's exactly what we want.
You know what's interesting here that I didn't realize till just now, seeing this like really done up. What do we call this avatar again? What is his name?
I think it's Snoo.
This is a really smart thing to do by Reddit. To get
the branding,
the branding and the exposure for Snoo, who I'm not that big of a Reddit user. Like I go in there to see like what the sleuths pull up on like the latest fucking conspiracy theorists, but Snoo can use the culture that's cultivated here and in other aspects to grow. I mean, now we've seen Snoo more in the last literally
dude,
like 20 minutes than I've seen in all time combined.
To your point, Q, it's actually hard to summarize how brilliant they've been with this, because the branding aspect of it alone is like, if you were a marketing professor at Cornell or some university, if I was Prof G, I know like Biggie and like people love that dude, right? If I was a marketing professor at a prestigious university teaching a class about like a master class on branding, you could do an entire class just about how Reddit used the collaboration culture of Web3 to get hundreds, if not thousands, of top-notch artists to recreate and sell multiple different versions of their logo and their character to their audiences, and leveraging all of those artist audiences. You know, it's just like, it's such a massive win for Reddit. It really fucking is. And it's positive news. And yeah. Anyway, you're right, Q. It's really well done. And the character is becoming so iconic. It is so hard to quantify right now. It's becoming so iconic through this process that like this is how Reddit actually becomes one of the most valuable brands in the world. Like, and hot take, already right? Is. Like I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. The Reddit brand probably already is, like, I don't know if it's top 50, maybe not even top 100, but like it might be in the top like 500, most valuable brands or something at this point in the world. But this is literally how Reddit goes from being like, a valuable brand to one of the most valuable brands in the world over the next 5 to 10 years.
I'm going to start a poll here in chat. I'm interested in people's takes. Do you use Reddit weekly? And I would like to have y'all answer that, and we can kind of get a hive mind here, at least the folks in chat. I also had some other things I wanted to point out that I was trying to get a feel on. Completely slipped my mind while I was trying to get that poll, but we appreciate everybody in chat as well, man. You guys absolutely lit up the comment section there in like the last 2 or 3 minutes. Marty's making a good point, though. And I think that was kind of the topic I wanted to touch on that I forgot. He said, what are your daily places? Mine are Twitter, OpenSea, YouTube, and Discord. Maybe Wikipedia, never, ever Reddit. What's everyone else's? So, yeah, well, let's open that up, man. Like, not only do you use Reddit, but where are you going daily? Because, I think his itinerary there for social media is kind of my itinerary, honestly. So I'm looking almost to a T: Twitter, Blur, YouTube, and Discord. And I'm trying, maybe Telegram is probably another one. That's probably one I frequent.
Go ahead, Biggie.
I was just gonna say, it's I too many to name, but for me, Reddit has always been, and I think Quantum mentioned it down there. It's like when you really want to go deep into a rabbit hole, right? Like when you're looking for some real nitty gritty, like takes or guidance on like something really strange. Like I always find that Reddit, there's some community there that like has broken everything down. And so whenever I find myself like doing some deep digging, somehow I always end up in Reddit, And yes, I'm not like a crazy like Redditor, but I appreciate its existence and I use it, and it's always in the back of my mind. And I am subscribed to certain subreddits. No, I don't engage with it all the time. Doesn't mean it's useless, and doesn't mean that a whole bunch of other people don't use it all the time, right? It's just like when and how and for what purpose you use it. Same thing with Twitter, right?
I think a lot of people use it daily, like other people use a Twitter or another microblogging community app, right? So yeah, whether or not Web3 is fully adopted yet, that's actually the benefit. Like I think it's funny that we're saying, oh, crypto Twitter, our small little bubble, doesn't already use it, and it's not important. I think that doesn't make any sense, because the whole point is,
but even crypto Twitter is such a small little bubble within the whole Twitter.
Gif, we're losing your connection. You might have to come hop out and hop back in.
Okay, is it pretty bad,
connection, dude?
Shit. All right.
The lag is just tough.
You're turning into Max Headroom. Remember that guy?
Easy could have saying bummed. Couldn't catch the live today. Meeting went way longer than I thought. We'll have to catch the replay. Easy, let us know about your thoughts on Reddit, man. We got that poll going right now. Trying to see what the activity looks like there. I generally agree with Marty on the fact that most people in NFTs don't use it on the daily for sure. The another part was brought up that I thought I actually saw a tweet on this, but it gets to the heart of another issue. Quantum Variant saying Web3 needs to expand outside of Twitter or we won't survive. You're looking good, GIF. The tweet I saw was NFTs would be dead without Twitter. And you know, once you get over like that's a shitty take, like the shock of it, it's actually kind of true in my mind. Like, where would NFTs be without Twitter? I have no idea. And we for sure, but the discovery of that's an audio app. You know what I mean? That's like a community audio app. I don't know where we'd be. Maybe Reddit. You know?
There would definitely be a slower uptake for them, right? But like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think, like, because I was slow to really embrace crypto Twitter. I was very reluctant, and I still like. There's many things about the platform that I don't like, but Discord and Telegram, holy shit! Like that's kind of where I would end up going. Like I'm thinking like way back when I started buying NFTs and everything. Like the first time I joined like Fluff World and got into the Discord, and I was just like, what is this? You know, like it was insane. I don't know. It's a bit of a crappy take. It doesn't mean it isn't true. Like it definitely carries a lot of weight, and I think that's why we all care so much about the X platform, right? But I think by now, like I wonder if the X platform was to disappear and be obliterated, like would that mean? I think it might even be healthier for this space. You know, and but I don't think it would completely go away. I think Telegram and Discord, like everything most of the conversation would probably move to like Telegram channels and Discord channels, you know, but I don't think it would completely disappear.
The info arbitrage opportunity there, if Twitter went away or X went away, is absolutely astounding. Like where would people even go to put all of the info together and try to curate what we're doing here? Maybe YouTube. They would come to chats like this.
There's so many other platforms. It doesn't make sense to say that NFTs would be dead. I actually think it's
Twitch.
I actually think it's such a like simple reductive take, and it's like it gets your attention.
Led with that. To be fair, I led with that.
It makes you think about it. You're like, oh, is that true? But like, if you actually think about the way that the world works and how many different platforms and opportunities there are for people to create communities, engage with each other, and share content, it's like no. It just became like the main place. It just be different. So anyway, that's my thought on that. And to DP's point about having to pay the last month's balance on my Wi-Fi bill, who's got to pay a Wi-Fi bill, my guy? My internet runs on vibes. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just like last thing on the Reddit front, because I started to get cut off. I just wanted to point out that actually the benefit and why Reddit is so important is because Web3 isn't already there, and they're bridging people in over time in a scalable way. That's why it's interesting. It's not because, hey, look, Web3 and crypto Twitter are already there. Actually, most people a year ago on Reddit hated NFTs. And now almost 15 million people on Reddit have NFTs.
The ironic thing about this, Biggie, is we've been pretty early on this Reddit thing, but to the point that we made running into this topic, we really couldn't profit off of it. You know, like there's this like really successful product that's going to be launched, and people don't really think so, but we're still talking about it 8 months, 9 months from when we first we're hitting this at the early start, if not the end of last year. But the difference is, if that was an NFT project, we would have all been rich. Like in the typical ways, again, that we think about NFTs. It's a very ironic situation that we're super early, but we have no way of really profiting off of it.
A lot of these plays are long-term plays that may never turn into something more meaningful other than a little bit of like clout, like, hey, I got this thing early or whatever. But there is a potential. Like if I have a thesis on it, which is probably not a great thesis, but my thesis, I guess, since I bought a few of them, I bought some from the Gen 1 collection. I guess what I'm hoping is that the Gen 1 collection will age well. And then eventually when the marketplace for these things starts to pick up, which apparently like there is a market for it. It's not huge yet, but if there was just like a 3.5 ETH sale on one of these things, there's a market. There's people that are going to value these things. So I guess my thesis is that I'm hoping that my Gen 1, collectibles will for some reason be at some kind of a premium. And maybe that's 20 years down the line.
to add a little bit more into that is like I think a very important distinction to make with this is that like it's not just like a brand like a logo, right? Like the Nike swoosh, you know, or like the Mercedes-Benz little star. No, it is a mascot, and mascots just grab a hold of people different. If you can make that an iconic avatar or play, you know, like animal that people want to engage with and display, it's very different, you know. And even then we see people are very passionate about like the Nike swoosh or the Mercedes-Benz star, but when it's a mascot, I think it has way more potential to take hold of the zeitgeist of the moment, right? And let's not forget, like, you know, this guy Alexis Ohanian he's a very big sports aficionado. He's married to one of the greatest tennis players of all time. I mean, all you need is like one snoo in her shoe, or some iconic brand, to Louis Vuitton, to say, oh, you know, we're going to do a limited edition of snoo plays or everything. And you never know where one of these plays can really hit a home run, right? Like I remember back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember like the Lacoste little fucking crocodile, like how, like growing up, like I recall, and it was just a brand logo. Nobody gave two fucks about that goddamn crocodile. Yeah. And then somewhere along the line, they brought in a serious marketing team. They started, you know, doing things right. And all of a sudden it became iconic, right? Like, I think, you know, that's what plays like that. And like, you know, Pudgy Penguins are going for, right? Like, it's like they're trying to build up this mascot, this little avatar, into something more than just a logo or a brand.
I think it's a great point that you just made, man. On having a brand around a mascot, not just a logo.
It is, and it made me think. And this is maybe a poll. It's definitely a question for y'all in the chat, but I don't know, Nifty Q. Let me know if you think there's a poll. Here's my question to you, if you're out there listening: is Snoo the Mickey Mouse of the internet generation? Is Snoo the internet native Mickey Mouse?
I'm putting this poll up, but you're opening yourself up to a lopsided poll here, sir. That was a very
ambitious take.
Very ambitious take. All right, we're gonna move on to the remainder
for sure
of the topics.
I think that's more like the Pepe's realm. What Pepe's trying to do.
Okay, which one is closer to the Mickey Mouse of the internet?
I can't.
Or Pepe?
Polls already said no takesies backsies. Is Snoo the Mickey Mouse of this generation, the internet generation?
All right, generation.
Quick two pieces here that are like breaking. Animoca apparently is investing $30 million into crypto app High. This is apparently going to be this like all-in-one Web3 app. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I thought it was interesting, though, because we were talking about X being the all-in-one social media app, or even beyond that, right? Payments and all of these things. But let me read this just really quick. A strategic partnership with High, a startup that bills itself as a Web3 super app. High, which holds digital assets licenses in Lithuania and Italy, currently offers both exchange and digital banking like services for crypto and fiat. Close to 3.5 million people have signed up, High claimed in today's announcement. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but of course, Animoca, Yatsu, and those guys always getting after it. Any takes there on High before I move on?
Let's see how it performs.
Okay. Y'all was in some Twitter Spaces this morning going off. I only caught a very, very short part of it, but yeah, I think there's some good spaces from this morning with Yatsu talking about a bunch of different things. Also, I want to make sure that
go ahead.
I want to make sure at some point that we hit the Worldcoin Lines.
Why am I getting Lederhosen ads here? It's getting to be that time, Oktoberfest.
Yeah, they know you went last year, so they're like, he's going again.
New pair.
Doing it again.
All right, Sothebys.
You just want to make sure you go in style, Q.
They might get me. They might get me here. Sotheby's historic Dutch auction, Vera Molnar's, or hopefully I'm saying that right, Molnar, generative NFT artwork fetches 1.2 in Ethereum, or 1.2 million in Ethereum, not 1.2 ETH, folks. What's the story here, Gif?
So Sotheby's, we were just covering, is just launching their own generative art platform in partnership with Artblocks, and this was their first collection. Vera Molnar, I think that's her name, right? We were looking into her. Apparently, a very famous, well-known generative artist
yeah.
and media, creative, who's been around for a long time, very well known, and yeah. So I guess this was the Genesis drop on Sotheby's new generative art platform with Artblocks, and looks like it went pretty well. 1.2, is that what it said? 1.2 mil. That's interesting. That actually kind of looks like Emily Edelman's drop with the playing with fonts and text in a generative art context.
Yeah.
So, look who's got a Project Zero Emily Edelman over there on Prohibition.art. Maybe that's worth 10% of 1.2 mil. Just saying. Only 100 of those.
Biggie, you got something with this generative drop?
I mean, it seems to have been very well received, and like I don't, like I'm so tempted to get a little bit annoyed, angry again at Sotheby's, like trying to, elbow their way into our delightful little cosmos of generative art here, and because I always see it as like the middleman, the old bastion of like just cash grabs and shady art dealings and whatever. So like it's very hard for me to look at them as anything else. I understand that they are an important part of the art world and that they've done some good or whatever, but just I for me it's very hard. I just have them very vilified in my mind. To the artist, in regards to the artist, like it's very interesting. Like like I'm not too familiar with her, but from what I've gathered since the launch, from the comments and the videos from NFT Stats and other people, it's like, I mean, this lady was like doing programming, like programming art without a screen. Like that's just I mean,
OG. That is OG.
yeah. So I mean, I think it's well deserved, and I'm sure like Sotheby's is like really thought through this whole curation and like arrived at the conclusion that this was the artist to lead with. Although I find the fact that her age is just so close to the last chapters of her life very suspect from Sotheby's perspective, but so be it. Like let's see how it goes. Like I mean, they did I don't know if they partnered with Art Blocks or they're just using their engine, very much like Prohibition is, right?
Yes, but that is what it is.
I want to see the continued reception, like what they follow it up with, and see how it goes. Like in the end, though, for me, it's not the first platform I'm going to think of or want to collect from. I already imagine that their mint prices are going to be pretty high up there, and I don't know. Like, I mean, being a proofer, I'm very proud of the fact that our community is being one of the first movers to embrace many of these artists, and like we're not the only ones by any means, but I just like that so far every successful artist in NFTs and generative art has been grassroots, like right, has been uplifted and embraced by the community, and not some freaking platform. Even Art Blocks, right? Like, which was initially just the squiggle, right? Like it just doesn't sit well with me that Christie's and Sotheby's want, and I understand, like just from a financial perspective, from where the art world's going, it's a lot of validation for sure. Like they're gonna come in. They want their slice of their piece of the pie. I just don't see them as being very earnest. I don't trust them. I will never, ever, ever, ever trust them. I will always see and look for an angle from them. Whereas something coming from Art Blocks, something coming from Prohibition, something coming from Proof, I will always see it as more like, oh, community oriented. Like, this is something the community wanted. Like they're championing this artist. Like, this is really cool, even if I don't vibe with it, right? Whereas with them, it's hard to get away from what you've established yourself to be for close to a century now, right? Which is like middlemen art dealers.
Yeah.
We don't want middlemen in crypto. Like there's smart contracts for that.
It feels like a lot of similarities to the gaming space. Whenever I hear people talk about the art space, I'm like the incumbents that have always been there. It feels like the same kind of talk in the gaming sphere with all these studios and what they've been able to do over the past 20 years, which is give nothing back, take everything, and all of these different things. But go ahead, Gif.
Yeah, Biggie coming in with some great takes. Quantum sharing, she's 99 years old, and I just fact checked this. Vera Molnar was born January 5th, 1924.
Lord,
1924. She's lived through
she was 20.
Like the end of World War I, and then all through World War II, and the entire 50s, 60s, rock and roll, technology, computers, personal PCs, iPhones, internet. She's lived through it all, and she was a pioneer from the very beginning of Gen Art. And what's very interesting about this now is like what they've done is they have imprinted, maybe one of her final collections on the blockchain. She more, obviously I hope she lives to be 200, but like she's probably not going to be around that long, given she's almost 100. But also, we're at this time. Yeah, I think so too. What Sarah's saying, it helps you live longer, definitely. But we're at this time when Gen Art is now being accepted and understood, and is starting to become a big global art movement. So this could actually be a really big collection. Like this might actually be really legit.
All right, folks, we have to end the episode here in like the next 5 to 10 minutes. So we have to move on to the remainder of the stories that we have here today. If you like the content, if you like Biggie's takes, Gift Ed's takes, and occasionally Nifty Q's takes, then leave a like on the episode. We appreciate it. Helps us get the word out to more folks and grow this channel and make it in Web3, to be honest. So definitely take a moment and do that if you can. I don't know if we have any housekeeping on the Web3 front other than we're continuing to release these daily threads from the news that we curate. So if you guys can support those as well, that's just ways to kind of give back to what we're doing and what we're trying to do here with Web3. So keep a lookout for that. We're trying to do a newsletter as well. I don't know. I say trying because we don't know the exact date we want to release the first one.
Because we're trying to do it right. We're not just trying to throw some shit out there. We want to create something valuable. So we're working on getting it all set up. And yeah, it'll probably launch next week. Okay. But you can sign up right now at w3b3.life. We should drop that in the chat. Go be an early adopter. Get on this email list. Be one of the first ones to participate in this next gen email blast that is going to be curated news headlines coming out of the show. Hot takes from these guys. Probably me most of the time, but a lot of interesting hot takes, all the curated news headlines that we can be pulling together while we're doing the shows. We're going to be packaging that up into the most valuable email newsletter covering Web3 news every day that we possibly can. And you can get on that list right now. W3B3, Web3, W3B3.life. That's it.
All right, we're going to fly through the remainder of these news pieces. Listen, if this is you, I don't have anything against you, but find help.
What are you doing?
Help. Please. You're scanning your eyeball for $10. Look, like I'll give you $10 to not do this. This is day 3 of Worldcoin launch. Crazy lines around the world. One person getting verified every 8 seconds. Why? This has some like Apple feel to it, man, where people feel like they're early. They need to like stand in line and be the first to do this because it's like, for whatever reason, that's the club. Like, why are people scanning their eyeball for $10?
But actually, what you just said, I think, is making me unfortunately more bullish. You said it's like an Apple thing. Like if this is getting interest and people are showing up like that, like for it.
No, man. I mean, to me, the weird thing is like they're obviously promoting it as like the ultimate seed phrase, right? Like ultimate form of self-custody or whatever. I just see it as like the ultimate data grab. on the other end. Like there's, you want self-custody, take some freaking personal responsibility. Like there's nothing that we didn't put it on the show, but we literally just saw news of some poor crypto collector in South America getting kidnapped and chopped up. No, not too hard to take your eyeball, and that's your seed phrase right there, buddy. I don't know. That one is really, really weird.
Wait, what's
Hurt your eyes, literally.
When next Thume coming? I don't know what Thume is.
FU Money.
Oh yeah.
All right.
As soon as we find a good production partner in LA, if y'all know a good production partner that actually believes in Web3 and wants to create some awesome content, hit us up because yeah.
The thing is, DP saying the same reason you're spending hours cleaning digital fecal matter. I don't think it's a funny example. I'm not giving up I'm not KYCing for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like scanning my eyeball to log into heavy metal. And honestly, the way that I'm playing heavy metal, I'm getting paid more than $10. Like if this was $1,000, I'd be like, some people really need that money. Maybe they should scan their eyeball. But $10 USD, United States fiat, 10 of them.
That's cheap.
People are down bad, bro. It's a bear market.
Jesus.
Yeah. Dude, people are selling their souls for $10 right now, waiting in line for hours to do it.
The future, I just see a lot of, what I'm going to do? I'm going to start selling eye patches in the future.
This is retail. This is who you're trading.
I think there's going to be a lot of eye patches in the future.
God damn. A lot of eye
Let us know in the chat. Are you selling your soul, aka your retina and your biometric identity, to Worldcoin for $10? Let us know. All
right, Squash is bringing up some alpha per usual. Appreciate you, brother. Easy saying signed up. No, he didn't sign up for Worldcoin. He signed up for the newsletter. He's saying Worldcoin's a scam. They're stealing your soul with that silver ball and owning your security. GIF, don't fade my question, sir. Oh, okay. DP saying the same reason let's see. Asmodai, the guy behind the not open AI platform, now the not open Worldcoin guy. Loving the eye patch apparently, but you can make $10 doing something else instead of waiting in line. See, probably make more than what's the minimum wage now? Like $14, $12. God. Easy and Crypto saying not giving biometrics to the AI. I think we're in agreement there.
So we got to get out of here and wrap this up here in just a moment. But Q, was it you or Biggie? One of y'all just brought up the crypto millionaires are getting tortured. And this is a trend now. No, this is a trend. It's more than one. I don't know if y'all saw the dude in Canada, also well-known crypto millionaire that was kidnapped and tortured. And now you've got people getting dismembered in Argentina and found in suitcases. This is a trend now. And I think this is bear market vibes. This is like, you've been in a bear market long enough. Where's our money? Oh, you're not getting it back to us now. There's people that took a lot of money from some shady characters and are now facing serious repercussions. Is it the NFT Illuminati? It might be, dude. It's scary, man. It's scary. This is no joke.
I don't want to end on the worst of topics here today, which is I don't think we've gotten any darker than dismemberment of folks based on crypto holdings.
Hey, it's real.
This is the last topic I wanted to hit on today, which is pretty dope. Harry Liu coming out, Forge Research, with the top 10 NFT royalties earnings. This actually came through CoinGecko. Apparently, CoinGecko has a tab now that shows royalties. And here is the all-time royalties chart for those of you that are interested. Obviously, Yuga up at the top there has made a full 178 million just on royalties. Artifact coming in 83 million. I think the disparity between 21 and 23 is also something to watch. All 3 years. But Chiru Labs, what project was Chiru? Oh, Azuki, Proof, Doodles, Parallel, VFriends, Adidas, NFT Worlds, and Murakami Flowers.
Yo, wait, Q.
Wow.
Quantum variance bringing up some hot points here. None of this is actually real or legitimate data because it doesn't include all the Solana projects right now. So like
No, you're right.
we got to scrap the last couple minutes.
Right.
Everybody ignore this. It's not real. This is not, we can't. Sorry. And we're back.
All right, fellas.
Still here. All right. Any thoughts on the top 10 royalties here? Any? I mean, it was cool to see this data.
It was good while it lasted.
Yeah,
that's my thought.
23s though. Look at 2023 over here. 5.5 by Azuki.
Still a little bit up there. NFT Worlds, Adidas. So there's two big sneaker brands, Nike and Adidas, included in here. There's one artist by himself, which is Murakami, which is pretty awesome. Obviously, artists are benefiting from some of this too if they're part of the project.
At least we have some funding, although the top 10 in 2023, I would wonder what that looks like. Like Murakami's in the top 10, got 157,000, but that project isn't really popping off, of course, now. But Doodles is getting 1.6 in 2023. So it's still, we still got some. One would think that it was just
better than most startups.
That's what I mean.
Let's put it that way. So can't complain.
And Yuga, of course, that's one of the reasons we're pretty bullish on him. 178 mil just in royalties here in the past 3 years. Just wild. All right. We are going to head out of here, folks. We appreciate you stopping by. I did drop an Avagachi update, but we don't have much time. Apparently, the heavy metals just decoupled from their amps. So amps are going to be sold on secondary now. That'll be something interesting to watch. Again, are people spending days and days for no reason in their forge, or is it actually worth it? The secondary market will let us know. Otherwise, expect the newsletter next week. Thank you guys for signing up to that. Thank you guys for tuning in, of course, every week. I've said it multiple times over, but I really cannot say it enough. So our vibe, our tribe, will let these guys take us out. Biggie, GIF, you guys were awesome again this week, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Q. Thank you, GIF. It's always fun spending time with you guys. Everybody on the chat, we love you. OVOT, man. See you next week. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, I was going to go out like saying Murakami Flowers floor is under 0.3, and I wish I had some liquidity because I'd buy those. Not financial advice. No, big love to everybody. Fun day today. We're going to be coming out with a recap, an awesome recap over on the Web3 Twitter here in just a little bit. Again, w3b3.life. That's the website, web3.life, w3b3.life. Go sign up for the newsletter. We're working on it. We're going to get it out soon, and we want it to be awesome, and we want you to be part of it. And that's it.
Big love. Do you have any large hex spawn tees, by the way, before we head out of here?
I was going to go check and see. I don't know if I have larges in black. I might have them in white. I might have an extra large if you wanted to try and shrink it down in the dryer. But yeah.
I'll see if I can lose some weight. All right, folks. OVOT. Thank y'all.